Hello guys, oh my goodness, it has been a while since I sat down for this kind of video. I've just been doing vlogs for the last few months. I've been enjoying it, as you guys probably have seen in my vlogs and I've spoken about. I've really been enjoying and loving doing vlogs again. I never thought I would see the day, honestly. Like 3 years ago, those of you who followed me will know I quit vlogging entirely and now I'm loving it again. I asked in one of my recent vlogs what you guys would like to see and if you would like to see more sit down videos. And a lot of you actually just said you enjoy both, so like a good balance of the two. There will probably still be more vlogs than kind of static sit down old school YouTube style videos, but I thought I would do one today and do, I'm not going to call it a monthly favorites. Maybe it's going to be like a, I feel like it's like Q1 favorites. Monthly favorites, but probably a little bit longer than a month because I haven't done this in a while. So it's been a while and I have a lot of things to show you. There's a lot of skincare to show you. I've got two favorite cleansers over the past few months. The first one being from Sunday Riley. This is the Aquamarine Melt Cleanser. And you guys probably know by now, I love cleansing balms, but this is really unique. It's almost kind of like a gel cream texture, and then it works down into an oil. So it's actually really nice, and it rinses off quite easily too. So it's not like a more classic oily kind of balmy texture that you need a cloth for. I actually often will use this in the shower. I do still have like a face halo with it as well, just to make sure everything's off. But this is kind of like my shower morning cleanser. Also, I feel like this is going to be a controversial topic that will divide people, but who washes their face in the shower? Let me know in the comments if you think that is normal, if you think that is weird, because I feel like you're either firmly in one of those camps. Like it's either like totally normal and you do it, or you're like, oh no, I wouldn't do that, but I do it. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. I love washing my face in the shower. I feel like I'm not entirely clean unless I really wash my face as well. The other cleanser, this one is actually a shiny new one because I finished the whole one, is the new Black Cherry Cleansing Balm. I actually spoke about this in my last vlog, so I'm not going to go on about it too much. But can we just take a moment for the fresh new one? I had a sample of this before it launched and loved it, and then it launched. Did it launch? I think it was the end of January. I love the smell of this. It's so sweet and juicy and tasty. I'm not sure if it's overtaken the Fig one as my like all-time favorite, but it's definitely up there. I have been a fan of the Elemis Cleansing Balm for ages. Like I said, the Fig one is definitely my fave. This one is very, very close. I also love the Rose one as well. And then other skincare that I've been loving. Oh, this one is actually brand new and I've only used it for the last week, but I can literally feel it working on my skin. This is the Clinique Moisture Surge Active Glow Serum. This is an interesting one because I've loved and used the Moisture Surge moisturizer, not consistently, like I probably haven't used it in a couple of years, but I love it, and it's a product that I've used a lot in the past and love. And this is actually really nice because they put lactic acid in it. So the name suggests it's just for hydration, but it's definitely like a little resurfacing. It leaves you with like that, like as the name would suggest, with a glow, but it's like, it almost gives you a hydration boost, but at the same time, just makes your skin look really smooth and juicy. I was so surprised the first time I used this, I could actually feel the lactic acid at work because I was a little bit skeptical about that element of it because Clinique are a brand that's very much formulated to be non-irritating. So obviously in terms of like acid products and resurfacing products, the higher the potency, often the more irritating they are. So I was thinking maybe this isn't going to be like the most effective, but actually it's really, really nice. And if you want something that is going to give you that little boost, a little glow, it's got hyaluronic acid, it's got vitamin C, and as well as that lactic acid. So it's just all in all really, really nice. And then this one is going to be controversial, I think. Reading the reviews of this, I can't quite get my head around the texture. This is another product from Sunday Riley. And this is a product that I tried years ago and was like, kind of like it, not so sure. Then my friend Rima has been obsessed with it ever since it first launched. She has the most incredible skin. She knows her skincare really well, and this is a product she swears by and buys over and over and over again. Anyway, I recently repurchased this because I wanted a really heavy, thick, hydrating moisturizer, which is what this is, right? It's their ceramide cream. I then used it, and the texture of it is kind of weird. Like it feels like a little gritty when you're first rubbing it in, which is so strange. It's not like a bad sensation, it's just very strange for a cream. And I Googled it, and apparently this is a new thing with the newer version of the formulation because I didn't remember this happening originally. I'm not entirely sure if it's supposed to be like that. Either way, it leaves my skin like so hydrated, baby soft. It feels like a really deep drink. I use it only at night. and I slather it on. I also love the smell. It has like a, I want to say it's like a kind of faint berry smell, but that doesn't make it sound appealing. It's got a really nice, relaxing, calming scent that is just, I just love it. And I honestly, I've had this for about a month, and bear in mind, I only use it at night, probably 3 times a week. I have used a lot of it and I really, really like it. So yeah, I'm sold. Rima has finally convinced me on the ice cream. See what they did there from Sunday Riley. I really like it. But I'd be interested to know from you guys in terms of texture, if you've tried that. Have you found the texture strange? Did you try it before the texture change? I'd like to know. There are some interesting reviews online and like debate about it online. That is it for skincare, but I do have this one product which I did a whole reel about. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen it. It's the Saint-Tropez Sunlit Skin bronzing tint and tan. I've been using this all month, although not for the last couple of days, and I look pasty white now. But this is so nice. It's like a makeup fake tan hybrid. I'm not the biggest fake tanner. Usually if I fake tan, it's for an event and I want to use something that is like quick and effective. And normally I go for the Saint-Tropez Express Tan, the blue one. And this is the same development time as that. So it develops within 1 to 3 hours. And it also has that like really gorgeous natural tint to it because it is that kind of like makeup tan hybrid. I think this is really nice. The texture is so weird. It's almost like a jelly, but it applies really nicely and it just gives you the perfect level of bronzy glow that you want if you're not a big fake tanner, if you just want to look natural and glowing. Really big fan of that. I've been using that every other day probably this month. And then a few makeup favorites, quite a lot of makeup favorites actually. The first one is this from Yopoda, which is a Korean skincare brand. This is a cushion foundation, throwback, major throwback. And actually, I was unsure. They approached me to work with them probably 4 or 5 months ago, quite a long time ago now. And I'd never really heard of the brand. I'd heard about it a bit online, but I didn't know much about the brand and I hadn't tried anything from them. So they sent me a load of stuff to try and I've been trying out like bits and bobs here, there and everywhere, and I'm actually doing something with them very soon. But this is the product that actually really took me by surprise. Their skincare is really nice and overall I love the brand in terms of it's all refillable, it's really cleverly designed. But this cushion foundation is the last time I tried a cushion foundation. Oh my God, when were they like a big thing? Was it like 2014, something like that? They had like a real moment. I've been using this so much recently, like, and every time I wear it, somebody comments on my skin or what foundation are you wearing? There was one particular video which I was talking about spring fragrances, which again, I'll get onto in a minute, on my Instagram. And I had loads of DMs about what foundation I was wearing in that video. And it was this. It's really nice, kind of solid, medium, buildable coverage, but it just has so much dewiness. It's also like formulated with skincare as well. So it has niacinamide in there and it's very hydrating while still having that really good coverage and being dewy, but not too shiny. Like it's not like glowy, 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 but it just makes you look really healthy. And it's so handy to have in your handbag because it's got a massive mirror, it's a compact, you can apply it on the go. I just really, really big fan of that. And then another one that is such a massive throwback. Can we just take a moment for collection? No longer collection 2000, like when I first started buying this stuff. But do you remember back in the day, I used to love and talk about the Lasting Perfection concealer the whole time. Actually, they've relaunched a new version of it recently. That is not this one. I went looking for it in Boots and it wasn't there. So I ended up buying this one. This is the serum version. So it's Lasting Perfection Hydrating Serum Concealer. This is so nice. I don't know why I'm so surprised because the original one was so good and it was so cheap. I think it was like $3.99. The shade I have is beige 8. It's nearly impossible to work out which shade to buy in store. Like I feel like it's one of those things where you probably need to buy a couple to find your right one. I was like trying to work it out, but love it. Actually, like pretty decent coverage, but overall like the amount of coverage that you want without looking cakey, but really hydrating. Like it just sits in the skin beautifully. Really, really good. Having a drugstore beauty moment because actually I filmed a drugstore makeup favorites. And when it comes to skincare, I've done a few of these in skincare recently as well over on my Instagram. When it comes to skincare, it's quite a diverse selection of products, like lots of different brands, lots of different products. When it came to makeup, all of the products that are like my favorite drugstore beauty products currently are all Maybelline. And I was like, this cannot be the case. It's just like no other brands that I'm loving their products. So I went into Boots and had like a proper trawl and like looked at everything that was new, looked at everything that was interesting, and I just don't do that often. I used to do it a lot. Anyway, the other thing I came across was this from Revolution, which is I'm gonna call it their blush balm, because it doesn't have a name. This is a copy of the Bobbi Brown, I don't know what the Bobbi Brown one is called, but you know the one in the big pot, the kind of glow balm that it's not Bobbi Brown, it's Jones Road, which is Bobbi Brown's brand. Excuse me for that one. It is from Jones Road, formulated by Bobbi Brown. Bobbi Brown sold the Bobbi Brown brand years ago and now has her own brand called Jones Road. Those of you who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. You're like, shut the hell up, carry on. Those of you who don't, like, just to clarify, this is a copy of the Jones Road like blush balm that had a viral moment. I feel like it was in lockdown. It was a while ago anyway, and it was the foundation version of it that everyone hated, and then everyone worked out how to use it, and then everyone loved it. Anyway, this is kind of a copy of that. One thing I would say with this is it's like a massive pot. Like, you're never going to run out of this. I've been using this for the last few weeks, and you can see there's like, I've barely made a dent. But it is so nice. It's very lightly pigmented, but it has such a nice gloss to it. I have a different blush on, so I'm going to be over blushed, but it's going to look we're going to look a little crazy, but I'm going to put it on over the top anyway so you guys can see. Because it has such a nice glow to it. Like, it's just really fresh. Bear in mind, this product, I think, is $5.99. It's not the most pigmented product in the world. It's not going to be like wham, bam. But if you want like really nice, subtle makeup, you can also put it on your lips, which is just a really nice, it's just a very nice, like, everyday staple. If you want fresh, light, easygoing, like, looks really natural, clean girl vibes, this is really good, and it's really affordable. Big fan of that. Next thing, and the last thing makeup wise that I am obsessed with, is the new Armani foundation. This isn't foundation, this is a mascara. The new Armani mascara. I've got Armani foundation on the brain because the Luminous Silk is just like the best ever. I'm actually wearing Luminous Silk today as well. This is the new Armani Vertigo Lift mascara. A little shout out to Armani mascaras while we're here, because I think I first purchased an Armani mascara when I was about 19, I'm gonna say. I think I was at uni, and it was the Ice to Kill one that had the metal packaging. I think it was metal. It was really heavy, so I'm pretty sure it was metal. And it was so good. And it started my love affair with Armani makeup. Anyway, this is the new one. This is unbelievably good. Like, it builds like a dream. The Armani beauty brand is owned by L'Oreal, so I'm not surprised, because the L'Oreal house in general make excellent mascaras. If you think about the L'Oreal brands, they own Armani, who do great mascaras. They own L'Oreal Paris, who do great mascaras. Maybelline do great mascaras. Lancome do exceptionally good mascaras. YSL do exceptionally good mascaras. Like, I feel like L'Oreal as an umbrella company has mascara down. Really, really has mascara down. Like, they know what they're doing. Anyway, this one is so good. The one thing I love about this the most is that it's really buildable. It gives you outrageous length, but still with volume. I find sometimes with lengthening mascaras, they kind of like are a bit wet and they kind of slick together. This is like, it's so good, honestly. But it also allows you to come back when it's dry and like add a little more, and it doesn't flake, which is very rare with a mascara, I find. Anyway, the new Armani mascara is really worth it. If you're kind of repurchasing a mascara anytime soon, I definitely recommend trying it out. And last but not least, a new fragrance. This is the new Glossier fragrance. It's got a great name. They chose very well when they were naming this fragrance. It's called Fleur. I like this fragrance because it's a little bit more punchy than the previous Glossier You fragrances. If you're a fan of the original, it's got that real vibe, like no scent vibe that Molecule has and Dead Cool Extra Milk has. It's like, can you smell it? You can smell something and it smells really good, but you don't know what it smells like. It has that vibe. And then last year they introduced 2 new kind of SKUs on that. They had I can't even remember what they called off the top of my head, but they had the darker one and then had the lighter one. The original one obviously had the red lid. So they had these 3. For me, they all still smelled quite similar. Like, they were all still really related. This, for me, smells like a different perfume entirely. Like, it still has the link, but it smells markedly different to the other 3 to me. And it smells a lot stronger. It's a level of fragrance that, like, you can tell you've put perfume on. With the other ones, after a while, I feel like you kind of maybe can't smell it. If you gave someone a hug, maybe they would smell it on you. But, like, this stays noticeable to the wearer for such a long period of time. Anyway, talking about the notes, the name Fleur, obviously a great name, would suggest that it is really floral, but it's actually not. It has a really nice warm quality to it that is quite rare, with floral fragrances. It does have florals in there, but the top note is salt, which for me is really interesting because it reminds me in a way of wood, sage and sea salt, like from Jo Malone. When you first spray it, it has that like slightly savory note, fresh air, like cool breeze kind of vibe that wood, sage and sea salt has. Then it like has a really warm base as well, like a musky, hug in a smell type warm base, which is what I go for in my favorite. All my favorite fragrances either have amber, this has got ambrox, has that like warm, comforting element to it, but it's just still very fresh. It still has that floral and it's fresh, but it's really different and it just smells really good. It's very addictive. I really like it. Anyway, I'd recommend smelling it. In the UK, you can smell it in Space NK, and I think Glossier have a few stores, right? So you can smell it in Glossier, but Space NK is probably the easiest place to smell it. I'm a big fan. Another monthly favorite, actually, while I'm here, is this combo, my jewelry combo of the month, which obviously is Raven James, which is my brand, but this combo I'm obsessed with. It's the Octavia pendant. I'm going to get a bit closer to show you. Which is mother of pearl. Look how beautiful. Look how, can you tell I'm obsessed with shiny things? Look at I'll talk about my nails in a minute. This is Octavia pendant on an ivy chain, so it's just like on a plain chain. And then this is the Aura, like, Baroque pearl strand necklace. Love them together. And my nails, I don't think I've ever been more obsessed with my nails. So I have a lovely nail lady that comes to my house now regularly every 3 weeks and does biab on my nails, and it's been game changing for me because I've been doing my own nails for ages. I never had the time consistently to go anywhere else, and actually I found a way to get someone to come to me and it doesn't cost any more, and it's just amazing, and she's amazing, and we do it at night time when the kids are in bed and it's great. Anyway, I've been asking her about getting a biab color called Demure for like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and she finally got it in her collection. She's like, I got Demure, like I'm like so excited, which is basically like a no color, like it's a little pink, but it's clear, like sheer pink. And I was so excited to have this color, and like she put it on and we're like, oh my God, I love it so much. And then she took her gloves off. I was like, what is on your nails? That is amazing. And she was like, oh, it's just a chrome like topper. I can put it on if you want. So we ended up putting it on after waiting like weeks and weeks and weeks to get this color that I was really excited for. We put this over the top and it's totally changed the color. It's not subtle or whatever anymore. It's subtle for a chrome, but yeah, I'm obsessed. It's like a holographic, like glazed donut, but holographic pink. I love it. It's like literally mother of pearly opal kind of vibes. Big fan. Anyway, that is officially it for my monthly favorites or spring favorites or first quarter of the year favorites, whatever you want to call it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon, probably in a vlog, but maybe in a sit down video, you never know. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see in a sit down video. Anything specifically that you missed from my sit down videos, because I haven't done one in ages. Yeah, I'll see you soon. Love you guys. Bye.